Notes Matter. Firstly, thank you to Microseismic Inc. for welcoming us to do this presentation. Our recent partnership has really provided this opportunity. Now, just jump right into it. We are Terra 15, where Terra 15 is primarily focused on generating and creating, building, and developing gas instrumentation, distributed acoustic sensing. We also offer turnkey solutions, not just hardware, so we do provide end-to-end solutions. The company itself started about 5-6 years ago, and we're a very strong technical team, primarily engineers, physicists, geophysicists like myself, and a few non-technical staff. We operate out of Perth, Western Australia. It's a beautiful part of the world. If you've ever been, I highly suggest it. Today we have two principal products. The first product is the treble. You might already see where this is going with the high frequencies. Treble as an A. Treble is the hardware piece. We also have a second product, a turnkey solution called Assure SRB. This turnkey solution effectively simplifies the data generated by these machines, which can often be terabytes and terabytes of data. Very rich data. So the machines can produce tons and tons of data, which is something that we really need to filter down and simplify for the end customers to give them a state of their assets. So it's good, it's bad, this is why it's bad. Let's talk about the highs, and I'll go through a couple of demonstrations here. My first demonstration, this demonstration is an acoustic demonstration. You can see one of my colleagues, she's speaking towards the camera, and I want to drive home the point that what she is saying is being recorded and is being played back purely on the fiber optic cable. There are no microphones involved here. Despite the camera situation, we're not playing back the audio from the camera, we're playing back the audio purely on the fiber optic cable. More so, audio extracted on just the 20-meter section of fiber. So what we've just seen there, that audio playback, that is purely on the fiber optic cable. This is not some sort of trickery. If you've seen DAS systems before and you've heard an acoustic playback, generally this is being done across an entire spool of fiber. We're not doing that. We're just zeroing in on just the 20 meters, and the audio is super clear. We're looking between 0 hertz and 6 kilohertz, well into the acoustic bandwidth. That's one component of this, and you would have seen in the background she had two different displays. One is that Fourier transform of the spectrum being calculated and generated on the fly, and on the left-hand side you would have seen a full waveform plot. I'm happy to show anybody this again who wants to see it after this demonstration. I've got a couple other demonstrations to go through. This one here, what we're seeing is a 16-kilometer long fiber path being displayed along this map. So you're seeing effectively a live time slice shown in the map view, and that same information is represented here in this waterfall plot, where the most recent information is at time 0 at the top, and it's just scrolling down continuously in time. So roughly 0 meters here, down to roughly 15 kilometers, so somewhere out here at the bridge level. What you see in the data here is extremely rich. There's a lot happening. There are these diagonal lines. First of all, let's describe the colors. The dark purples, these very, very dark colors, these are low vibration intensity colors. As you scale up into the greens, the yellows, you start seeing a lot more vibration intensity being displayed. Please, guys, come on down and have a seat if you'd like to continue watching. There's some stationary features that are shown. I say stationary because they don't change position in space. They just continuously scroll in time at one location. There are other features that are, say, if you're moving diagonally, these have some move out. These are in fact cars traveling up and down the road through a very quiet, expensive neighborhood just here. Not a whole lot of activity, not a whole lot of traffic. We can count the cars, we can measure the cars, the speed of the cars. We can look at imperfections in the road network. There's a great many things happening here. The stationary positions that are showing some activity, those are either construction, imperfections in the road, other things, and we can actually play back all these sounds. So what you heard in the previous demonstration, that was true acoustic playback of my colleague speaking. What I'm about to play here is sounds extracted at individual locations along the fiber. And I want to make special note, this is fiber already in the ground, telecommunications fiber. We're just tapped into for a short period of time. It's about 3 feet below the ground. And the sounds that you're going to hear are sounds extracted from that fiber 3 feet below the ground. One more thing, this is a train here. This very, very bright yellow line, that's a train moving up and down the track. So I'll just let these play through. So that sound was extracted from this position here. It's intermittent, somebody's there working, jackhammering away. Jackhammer stops, it disappears, jackhammer starts going again, and you get a little dot at that location. The telltale sign of a rear and front axle going over a pothole. Sledgehammer, again, this is a stationary position, and you would see that just continuously hitting the ground wherever they're doing the work. That's a train. As it comes into the station, it stops, and in fact, that's this train here. Comes in, stops at the station, picks up its passengers, moves to the next location, picks up passengers, and continues on. I'm sure in the back not everybody can hear these sounds, but that would have been drainage. You hear the bubbling of a blocked drain. So most of this demonstration is about asset monitoring or infrastructure monitoring. That's what it sounds like when somebody's pulling on the cable. And if somebody wants a demonstration of this, I have an interrogator just behind us here with some fiber optic cable. And that's all it is, just fiber. Quite a clear one. Any questions? Yeah. Keep going. As I started the talk, I mentioned that the high notes matter. And the high notes are quite important. Traditionally speaking, the DAS industry has been focusing on the low frequencies. The low frequencies are excellent. If you're looking for active seismic, for example, you're listening for earthquakes, those ultra low frequencies make a big difference. Terra 15 has come into the market with a different mentality. Nobody's really chasing the higher frequencies, the mid to high frequencies. And when I say mid to highs, I'm talking about 40 hertz up to the well into the kilohertz ranges. That's really what we're chasing. That's really what we'd like to be industry leaders in. What I'm showing in this plot here, this is typical DAS competitor, give or take 10-15%, depending on which competitor. And what you're seeing here, this is our noise performance. This is system self-noise. And when it comes to instrument noise, the lower, the better. That makes you more sensitive. The lower your instrument noise, the more sensitive you are to those frequencies. Now our crossover point with the majority of phase-based DAS interrogators is roughly 40 hertz to 60 hertz, depending on the interrogator. After that point, we become far, far more sensitive than the typical interrogator. At 1 kilohertz, certainly, we're about 10 times more sensitive than the nearest competitor. So at these frequencies, you're pretty much getting into the acoustic range. Leak detection for pipelines occurs at these frequencies. Certainly not in the very lows. A lot of asset monitoring, all the stuff that you just heard, that's well into the kilohertz ranges. All right, so how do we work in seismic, right? I mentioned that we're not the most amazing system in the world at low frequencies. That does not mean that we're not good at low frequencies. We are still quite good there. And we can talk about why that is. There's a lot of unique selling points and unique advantages to these interrogators. These interrogators have just a lot of features. They're all multiple pulse and multiple gauge length configurable, and that's in software. You can set increments of fiber optic cable that you would like to use as sensing elements. So imagine 10 miles of fiber optic cable, and you can subdivide that fiber optic cable anywhere between 1 meter and 100 meter sensing increments, giving you thousands of sensors potentially. Another thing that is quite special about these interrogators is that we can save in a very unique format for the DAS industry, and that's in velocity. This is some work published by Sedenko et al. In 2020, showing the benefits of recording in velocity. One of those benefits is the increased sensitivity with increasing angle of incidence. This is a well-known problem with fiber optics. You are less sensitive to broadside arrivals. So arrivals approaching 90 degrees to the fiber optic cable. That's a known. Saving velocity, though, you can see that there is a much stronger, much higher response saving in this data format than there is saving in the traditional strain or strain rate format. That is quite special. It gives you the ability to sense P waves and S waves a whole lot better, but especially if they're vertically inside. There's quite a lot of other features. Please talk to me about it afterwards if you'd like to know more. Our system has been validated on a number of seismic use cases. That includes active land acquisitions, 2D, 3D, downwell VSPs, passive seismic acquisitions, on land surface wave inversion, MASW. We do a lot of microseismic monitoring on mines and monitoring of hydraulic fracturing in oil and gas. And we partnered with microseismic for these applications principally. Now on the left-hand side, what you're seeing is a VSP shock gather with a single sweep. Right? So we're not dropping geophones down a hole. It's not a sonde that you continuously have to drop, do another sweep, stack your shot together. It's a single shot, correlated, unstacked. How does that compare with geophones, you might ask? Most people are familiar with the way the geophones look in the VSP setting. And how do we compare with other strain-based systems? Again, the topic of my talk is why the high nodes matter. Well, if you're looking at high-resolution seismic, you really want to see those shallow layers, and you really want to get really nice bedding and be able to differentiate those. You need a system that's very sensitive at the high frequencies, mid to high frequencies. This is our system here on the right. This is actually one of our older systems. What you see behind you is an order of magnitude more sensitive than this particular piece of equipment that generated this image. You can see on the traditional strain-based system, you lose out on a lot of the reflections. And by the way, to give everybody a primer on shock gathers if you don't know them, depth is along the x-axis here, with 0 meters and 600 meters are at the far end. And this is just time on the vertical axis. This is your direct arrival. At the top, you can see some reflections, or these diagonal lines, and some mode converted waves just here. If you look at a traditional strain-based system, these are not extremely clear. You're actually not resolving that level of detail to the degree that you could. Geophones, you have certain limitations. What is your geophone spacing? What is the drop increment? Doesn't, in this particular case, I think they probably did a disservice and dropped every 10 meters. So you get a much lower resolution range. Now, this was 15 sweeps. Sorry, it's actually more than that. It's like 25 sweeps. That was a single sweep. Right, so much cheaper, much easier way to do this. Microseismicity, so in the frequency bands that microseismic events tend to occur, we are probably the most sensitive system in the world for those applications. What we have here on the left is a magnitude -1 microseismic event. You have your P waves, S waves. The right-hand side, you actually have a doublet, so 2 activations of the same location at different points in time. And again, we're looking at distance along the x-axis, time along the y-axis. 50 to 320 hertz bandpass, 60 to 300 hertz bandpass. really beautiful, really clear. We can identify the exact position along the cable by identifying the peak. And at this position here, this is roughly 4850 meters. This position here, 5200 meters along the fiber optic cable. Now, I say the highs matter. Yes, they do. They give you ultra high resolution seismic, excellent for microseismic work. But the systems are not slouches for low frequency work either. This is some MASW, so some passive multi-channel analysis of surface waves. What was used as a source here is just the ambient wave field, the ambient noise from waves impacting the coast. As they impact the coast, these waves travel down the fiber optic path, and we've just used just this section here. Now we've correlated this, I should actually say, Schrag et al. Correlated this to known borehole just where that green dot is, and the time is rather remarkable. So we can see down to 500 meters with a passive wave field at frequencies sub 2 Hz. We also have a passive array in Earth that we're not using this for earthquake monitoring or any sort of seismic monitoring. What we're using this for is pipeline monitoring. So we monitor for leaks in the city of Perth. This is an excellent technology for that application. In fact, I have a presentation tomorrow talking about purely the use of this technology for pipeline monitoring. But we've also been able to use this to detect earthquakes. This is a magnitude 4 event that occurred roughly 188 kilometers away from the fiber optic cable. You can see a very clear P wave arrival, S wave arrival. We've correlated this as well to a seismometer not too far away. And the tie, although not perfect, is remarkably good. Remarkably good. A lot of factors contribute to that. This is just using a cable in the ground, not particularly well coupled to the rock mass. Coils, shenanigans, all sorts of things happening on these cables. Excellent for slug flow monitoring, production monitoring down well. Again, I have a whole series of other topics and conversations that we can get into with this technology. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Let's jump to the next one. So, any questions? Everyone feeling enlightened about DAS? Yeah, so what you saw on the waterfall plot, that's an RMS. It's an RMS extraction of the vibration intensity. We've